Adventures of Sonic Episode 43, Coachnik. Tails is told the next time he'll get to help Sonic against Scratch. Scratch tells Grounder that on his signal he'll use oil to make Sonic lose his traction, and Scratch will use a flamethrower against Sonic. However, because he said the wrong thing, Grounder doesn't do it in time and the robots blow each other up. How they survive? Tails is sad that he didn't get to do anything. If the writer was aware this was a problem, he should have written into every episode. Robotnik insists on repairing the robots that failed him again, and he says the solution is to combine various things that shouldn't combine into any sort of invention, even him. What the robots need is training, coaching, and discipline, apparently, so he makes a coach robot. What? He'll do this instead of just reprogramming the robots? What a roundabout solution. This is so dumb. The coach apologizes to Robotnik for punching something and damaging it and coaches the robots. How could he possibly think this would solve the problem? This won't make them smarter. I guess Scratch and Grounder are going to be shown their various failures from footage, as we see one of them, with Sonic building a slope to send the boulders from downhill to the robots. The coach gives them feedback and shows them another failure of theirs, where Sonic somehow magically pulls the staircase upwards to lead the robots to their doom off the Statue of Liberty. And the coach talks as if this is the oldest trick in the book, when they literally lost because of bullshit. That's not their fault. Sonic's just overpowered. Coconuts runs into a wall and gets crushed by rubble, and the robots run after the heroes wearing shirts that, why did Robotnik waste time making those? Tails whispers a plan to Sonic when they see a real train tunnel, and Sonic puts a paper over the train tunnel he shouldn't even have that's too big to fit in his pocket or whatever. Thus, the train goes through the tunnel and runs over the robots who should have been able to hear it. All this episode is implying is that Sonic wins because of Deus Ex Machina bullshit, and it's not always the robots' fault. Even the most competent robots ever would fail because of this. Though I think they should have heard the train coming. Robotnik makes a football-shaped bomb and takes a black bead from it, throwing it and blowing up a part of his wall. A way to waste resources and force your wall to be repaired later. He says that all he has to do is sneak his bomb into one of the robots so they can't screw up, getting the bomb in a 5-mile radius of Sonic. Coconut's told he needs weight training. This is so dumb. Why can't Robotnik just make the robots stronger himself? How would a robot lifting weights become stronger? Why would Robotnik put up with this much slower improvement course? And then Sonic shows up in a disguise he shouldn't have, with a muscular body, giving Coconuts a barbell that's too heavy with various heavy things on them. This sends him into the floor dazed. His blue spines are still clearly visible. Why is the coach bot wearing a pink shirt anyways? Sonic shows out of nowhere in another stupid disguise he shouldn't have. This whole episode is written really lazily, and somehow fools Scratch and Grounder. Robotnik tells Coconuts that he's lucky the Coachnik thinks he needs him. What was the point of the scene? Sonic makes the robots spin around way too fast and dance. And then Sonic gets Scratch thrown off a cliff, doesn't get Grounder down the cliff, and returns to Tails.
Come on, Sonic! Let me do something!
Tails asks to spy on Robotnik. Sonic isn't sure about it, and Tails says that they're a team. I thought this would give a temporary rift to their friendship because Sonic does all the work, like was actually built up to. But instead Sonic agrees way too easily. Why doesn't Tails spy all the time since he can fly so high up? Well, I guess he get kidnapped again, no matter how high up he flew. Like he does practically every time he's left alone. Grounder goes over a trail of tires and gets hit by something making him fall apart. The coach chases the thing with Grounder's body, and Robotnik sets a 2-minute warning. Why put a warning on your bomb? Then he puts the bomb in Grounder's head, which is apparently hollow enough for that. So how does he have enough of a CPU and vocal cords to talk? That's dumb. Tails learns this plan.
I don't know what he hid there.
And Robotnik spies on the heroes going to the football field. Why? Why would there be a 2-minute time limit on the bomb? They get Scratch and Coconuts to run into each other, and Robotnik seems surprised at seeing Grounder come onto the field. Grounder's body takes his head away from Sonic, he trips it, Tails gets a hold of the bomb, and Tails asks why Robotnik has a timer there. Yeah, why does he have one? I thought Tails already knew about the bomb. Instead, he just knows that there was something special on Grounder's head. Sonic saddles Grounder with it, and the heroes run down the timer sticking around. Eventually, the coach kicks the football all the way into Robotnik's Eggmobile, and I'm somehow expected to believe that the bomb did nothing but cover him with soot. That makes all the tension around the bomb earlier completely artificial and cheap, because that's all the bomb would have done to Sonic and Tails. Tails calls himself dumb because he thought something great was hidden in Grounder when he was right, and he's somehow surprised when Sonic says he's glad to have Tails on his side. He's not Fleetway Tails, and yet he's still that insecure. The Sonic Says message is about Sonic and Tails stretching before a football game they never play, playing football when they never do, and the whole message is about stretching before exercise, which Sonic and Tails never do, while ignoring the fact that Tails made Grounder crash into something and get damaged. This episode was kind of entertaining, but also bafflingly stupid. Why would Robotnik make a Coachnik instead of just reprogramming the robots and making them stronger himself? Why settle for the much slower and less effective option? This whole plot never should have happened. And why would he ever put a generous warning timer on the bomb anyways, only for that bomb to cause an insultingly pathetic amount of damage to the one it blew up on, when it should have just blown apart the robots and it still looked like it would have been a threat? That was the worst bomb ever. So many different times when Robotnik should have been taken down by now and he wasn't. At one point I thought Tails would get miffed at Sonic for hogging all the action, but instead Sonic changes his mind way too easily and lets him go anyways. So much for that interesting development. Though at least I can commend the episode on not having Tails get kidnapped when he went off on his own. The episode isn't written logically at all, but it wasn't super frustrating either, just mediocre I guess. It's the typical lazy writing of the show.